Mercado Productions of Dayton, Ohio, proudly presents the story of how the Knox and Kane Railroad resumed excursion trains across the Kinzua Bridge in 1987 after a 28-year period of inactivity. The primary mission of the Kinzua Bridge was to transfer freight across the Kinzua Valley. Here is a later Erie Railroad diesel-driven freight train captured on rare 8mm film sometime before 1959. But from the very beginning, the Kinzua Bridge was the destination of many special excursion passenger trains on the Erie Railroad. The spectacular view and thrilling ride across the bridge provided an unforgettable experience. The last excursion train pulled by a steam locomotive was Erie number 3214 in 1949. We are fortunate to have a rare 8mm home movie of the last excursion train from the Erie period. 3 diesel units are leading the way from the north approaching the bridge. In 1959, the line across the Kinzua Bridge was abandoned. Excursions were no longer possible. The bridge continued to stand, but tracks had been removed and it stood isolated. No longer could the sound of steel wheels on steel rails be heard. The sound of a steam whistle echoing through the valley was but a memory. Then in 1987, 28 years later, the Knox and Kane Railroad gave the bridge new life. This video tells the story of the Knox and Kane Railroad and its founder, Mr. Sloan Cornell, whose vision was the resumption of excursion trains across the Kinzua Bridge. His dream was realized between 1987 and 2002. In 1990, the company Berkshire Productions created an excellent VHS videotape documenting the Knox and Kane story. Much of the video which follows is from the Berkshire video. It is used under license from Dave Buckley of Lansing, Michigan, who holds the copyright. The voice you will hear is Dan Bradford, narrator for Berkshire Productions.
The Knox and Kane Railroad is a tourist excursion line, 97 miles long and located in northwest Pennsylvania, the scenic heart of the rugged but mineral-rich Allegheny Forest. The railroad is owned by Sloan Cornell, a longtime rail enthusiast and tourist line operator. A sense of fun from the owner and his very professional staff make the Knox and Kane a pleasant and fascinating experience for visitors to the area. And 24 years later, entrepreneur Sloan Cornell, the owner of the Knox and Kane Railroad, reopened the bridge for crossing by train. But in 1982, the newly formed Knox and Kane Railroad purchased the track and the right-of-way from Knox to Mount Jewett. The new owner, Cornell, was a longtime train enthusiast, and he had a plan. It was his hope to expand his line, to reach from Marionville in the south all the way to Kinzua Bridge up north. This would make a complete round-trip distance of 97 miles, and the all-day excursion would include the option of crossing the famed bridge. In 1986, Cornell signed a 35-year lease to take over use and operation of the bridge. After inspecting the structure for safety and laying new track from Mount Jewett, a Y was constructed on the north side of the bridge for turning locomotives. From the Gettysburg Railroad, also owned by Mr. Cornell, came motive power for the inaugural runs, ex-Huntington and Broadtop number 38. A diesel would be used to pull the first excursion from Marionville to Mount Jewett, where the Baldwin-built 280 steam locomotive would take over for the actual crossing. The date was set for August 7, 1987, with a 5-car VIP special to be assembled behind number 38. The chosen day turned out to be a beautiful day, sunny and hot. When the consist reached the viaduct in mid-afternoon, the train was stopped so that those passengers who did not wish to challenge the span could disembark. Then, slowly and ever so gingerly, number 38 eased forward onto the bridge. This was a great moment for Cornell and the Knox and Kane Railroad, and a day of glory for rail fans. Once safely across the bridge, number 38 was disconnected from the rest of the train and turned on the Y. She would be reconnected to her consist and pull the train back across the bridge, slowly picking up speed for the run back to Marionville. A proud moment for Sloan Cornell. After more than 30 years, the towering Kinzua Viaduct was now an operating part of the tourist line's daily excursion route. As the tourist line has grown in reputation, owner Cornell began looking into acquiring another steam locomotive to share duties with number 38. The result of his search was a decision to purchase a brand new steam locomotive to be built especially for the Knox and Kane by the Tangshan Locomotive Works in China. Officially designated SY 1658M, with the M suffix denoting an American spec locomotive, number 1658 was built to American specifications under the direct supervision of Mr. Cornell. An SY Class 282, 1658 is one of 3 steam locomotives built in 1989, specifically for American tourist railroads. The SY class weighs in at 100 tons with 39,000 pounds of tractive effort and another 600 pounds available with a booster. Number 1658 was delivered in almost operable condition, needing only the attachment of a few accessories to be ready for work. Inspection was performed in May, and number 1658 was finally delivered to the Knox and Kane in June of 1990.
cameraman for the 1992 Peterson reunion also captured some interesting and unique shots from the north end of the Kinzua Bridge. Here the locomotive is turned on the Y and reconnected with the train. The video shows the locomotive backing off of the bridge to recouple with the train. There also is a fascinating view of the locomotive running across the bridge from underneath. The first crossing of Knox and Kane locomotive number 38 in August of 1987 began a period of happy times for the Kinzua Valley. Daily excursion trains from Marionville were filled with passengers excited about their crossing of the Kinzua Bridge. Beginning in 1990, trains behind the newly purchased Chinese-built locomotive made the ride even more thrilling. Every fall, the Knox and Kane trip across the bridge was a very popular way of seeing the beautiful autumn leaves, with many additional cars needed to handle all the extra people. And things continued to go pretty much like this through 2002. But time has not been kind to either the Knox and Kane Railroad nor the Kinzua Viaduct. In 2002, a long series of setbacks began. State inspectors became concerned about corrosion in the base of the towers. They closed the bridge to both rail and pedestrian traffic until comprehensive inspections of the viaduct could be performed. It would never be opened again. In 2003, an aggressive program to repair corrosion and restore the viaduct began. But in July, shortly after crews had stopped working for the day, an F1 tornado scored a direct hit on the structure, causing the center section of the viaduct to collapse. its fate was now sealed. The state of Pennsylvania, not being able to finance the estimated $45 million cost of rebuilding the bridge, opted instead to construct the skywalk, which gave park visitors the opportunity to view the Kinzua Gorge from a platform 600 feet out. It was open to the public in September of 2011. Enough about the bridge for now. Let's get back to the Knox and Kane. Operations continued into 2004 with the trains running up to the edge of the viaduct. But with the main appeal of the excursion gone, ridership on the line fell off drastically and revenues plummeted. The trains stopped. The death blow to the Knox and Kane Railroad came in the form of an engine house fire by arson in March of 2008. All of the railroad's locomotives and several of the coaches were damaged or destroyed. The sad finale to the Knox and Kane Railroad was the auction of all property on October 11 and 12, 2008. All rolling stock, property, motive power, memorabilia, track, and land were on the auction block. The railroad was purchased by the Kovalchik Corporation, a salvage company from Indiana, Pennsylvania, Joe Kovalchik, president. They have a long history in the railroad business. The Kovalchik Corporation began removing the track for scrap from Shippenville in the south, working toward the north. As of the summer of 2013, they had completed track removal up to the Route 66 crossing at Pigeon, which is 6 miles north of Marionville, toward Kane. They are well over halfway done. In this video clip, the Kovalchik crews are collecting ties, the rails having already been removed. The railroad may be used for a rails-to-trails bike path in the future. The silver lining to the heartbreaking engine house fire is this. The Valley Railroad in Essex, Connecticut purchased the fire-damaged Chinese-built number 1568 at the October 2008 auction. After a meticulous 3-year restoration process, they returned her to full functionality. They renumbered her Valley 3025 with New Haven markings. In this November 2011 clip, she is showing her stuff in Old Saybrook, Connecticut, and her first outing since the rebuild.